see you guys in the dark.
I remembered something that happened to my best friend and I a few years ago, and figured I might share it here. While my best friend... We went on a weekend trip to visit my grandmother a couple hours away from my town in Georgia. The town we lived in was comparatively small for the state, but one of the biggest towns within just a few hours. But we had to travel about 2.5 hours through tiny, somewhat redneck towns to get to my grandmother's place. We were on our way back home when we had to stop at a gas station literally in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking cornfields, cotton fields, streets with no signs or lights, not even stop signs, and definitely no cell service. The convenience store attached to the gas station had maybe a couple snacks inside, but looked deserted from the outside, and we didn't bother to get anything other than gas. I paid with my card, mainly because I didn't want to leave my 5'1", 100-pound friend alone in the car while I went alone inside. Another car pulled up on the other side of the single gas pump while I started pumping gas. And because everything that I've read on this subreddit, I already had a weird feeling and decided to stay alert and stand outside of the car with my driver's side door open so my friend could see and hear everything going on. A thin, late 50-year-old man got out of the car and seemed to be paying at the pump and standing beside his car while he got gas. But after a few seconds, he walked around the pump and maneuvered himself around my car door to stand within a foot of me and asked if he could pump my gas for me. Luckily, the gas nozzle was locked, so it was pumping without me having to hold it, and I immediately placed myself between the opening of the door and the man, and prepared to either shut the door with me inside it, or move and slam it behind me to protect my friend if necessary. I calmly told him it was fine. No thank you. He looked me up and down with the corner of his lip tilted up and said, "Pretty girls like you shouldn't be out here all alone. And you definitely shouldn't have to do this by yourself. Let a man help you, baby." And covered my hand with his own as he reached for the gas pump that I was holding. I jerked my hand out from underneath his and slammed my door shut. Orange flags turned red, and my usual over-polite demeanor turned serious as I remembered something I'd read here that said it was better to be safe and to seem mean rather than polite and uncomfortable. So I responded and said, "Sir, get away from me. I can pump my own gas, and I've already said no thank you. Leave us alone." He didn't move, only raised his chin, and managed to make eye contact with me, all lip tilt gone. I stared him down and figured I'd gotten enough gas to last us enough time to get the hell out of wherever we were. So I maintained eye contact, pulled the nozzle out, and basically threw it back into the pump before getting in my car, and drove away before he had even moved. As we drove away, I glanced in the rearview mirror and saw that his car wasn't even being filled up with gas, telling me he was driving by and decided to help a damsel in distress. My friend was shaking the whole way home, telling me she would have just let the man pump her gas. But I'm just glad some of the confidence I've gained from this sub helped me stay attentive and respond confidently enough to get out of the situation. So creepy, helpful gas station man in the middle of a ghost town. Let's not meet ever again. Hey guys, like the content so far? Consider donating to the channel's Patreon account for exclusive pictures, recordings, and even videos not found on the channel. Tiers start at $1 and go up, so if you want exclusive rewards, go and donate and help this channel survive and grow by showing your support and donating. I hate getting gas at night. I have learned to avoid it, as I've had some strange encounters that have left me feeling uncomfortable. But none as bad as this one. I had just picked my sister up from college, and we got on the highway to get home. My gas light had come on. It was getting dark out. I was kicking myself for not getting gas sooner, but it made me feel safer that I had my sister with me. So I get off the highway and pull into the closest gas station I can find. It was pretty empty. I had just put the pump in the car when I heard, "Hey, sweetheart. You from around here?" I jumped. This man had seemed to have appeared out of thin air. He was tall, older, and disheveled. his clothes baggy and twisted. Immediately I felt uncomfortable, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions or be rude, so I answered with a vague answer, "Yeah, kinda." He started asking me more questions, taking a step closer to me with each question. He was rattling them off so quickly, I didn't have time to answer them. The questions were getting more and more personal, and he was getting closer and closer. I was getting increasingly uncomfortable. Then finally he asked, "Are you married?" For context, I'm 23, but I've been told I still look like a teenager. This question obviously took me by surprise. I didn't know how to answer. It finally clicked what he was doing, trying to see if I was there with anyone who would look for me if I disappeared. This realization sent shivers down my spine. I shouted at him, "Get away from me!" Startled, he jumped back and said, "You ungrateful, entitled bitch," and kept cursing at me as he walked away. It took me about 30 minutes to stop shaking. Creepy old dude at the gas station. Let's not meet, ever again. So this actually happened about a week ago. I frequent the sub pretty often, and growing up in a not-so-savory area, I've met my fair share of weirdos, but this really struck a nerve with me recently. A little background. I work for a marketing firm that promotes high-end cosmetics, so every day I go business to business selling these makeup sets to whoever will buy one. Many of our sales are made to customers in parking lots or at a gas station. This story takes place at a gas station in a relatively rural area. Generally, we will park at a gas station to start the day, make our promo bags, use the bathroom, etc. We pull up, and there's no parking spots available, so I decide to pull up to a pump because we weren't planning on staying very long. Me and my partner both go in to use the urination station. I end up finishing before he does, and go back to the car to start making my promo bags for the day. As I'm doing this, an old rickety pickup truck pulls up to the pump opposite mine. The man who gets out looks like he's seen better days. His beard was yellowing, and he looked disheveled. As I'm making my bags, I feel him staring at me, so I figured, hey, let's see if he's got any ladies in his life that like makeup, and casually start pitching to him. He lights up immediately, and quickly moves over to my side of the pump, claiming his hearing was going, and couldn't hear what I was saying. I repeat myself, and he barely acknowledged any mention of the makeup and starts commenting on how pretty I am. This might have been sweet, but the way he was looking and talking about me made me a little unsettled. I chalked it up to him being a little not all there, and kind of tried to end the conversation politely. No, he would not take the hint. He was now standing close enough that I could smell him, and I was getting visibly uncomfortable and hoping my partner would come back soon. At this point, he had said some pretty vulgar things about my body that I tried ignoring with some awkward laughter. When out of nowhere, he grabs my hand and held it to his chest and told me how great it was that I didn't have a ring and that I was unmarried. I didn't get to react really. My partner had come up behind me, apparently amused by what was going on until he saw that look on my face. When he sees my partner, he immediately backs off and goes into the gas station, and I tell my partner how uncomfortable and weirded out I was. Keep in mind, I met my fair share of creepy dudes daily working a door-to-door sales job, and I'm usually pretty unfazed by it. So thinking he's gone, we both laugh it off and continue our bag making. My partner goes off to pitch a few ladies smoking outside on the side of the gas station, and almost on cue, this guy walks back out and makes a beeline towards me. Cue more inappropriate comments and attempted hand-holding. I was giving obvious signs that I did not want anything to do with this man, but he either didn't recognize this or didn't care. He started talking about how I should come back with him to meet his many dogs and cats, and how his trailer was right down the road. The last straw was when he put his one hand on my lower back and the other reaching towards my face. I don't know why I froze. I half squirmed away when I heard my partner shout from across the parking lot and turned to see him fast walking towards us. Again, the man backs off, but my partner let him hear it this time. Everyone around us is looking now. He mumbles something and then got in his truck and left. I'm still mad at myself for not speaking up. I like to hope that if I was alone, I would have been able to get out of that situation, but I'm thankful my partner was there to help scare him off. Quick backstory. I work at a gas station on a main route. We see a lot of travelers passing through. Only one person works each shift, and it's a 24-hour store. We are short-staffed, so I agree to an overnight. I'm female. I work in a state that's always had self-serve gas stations. So this guy comes in. I asked him if he needed any help. He says no. He's getting gas at the pump, but needs to use the bathroom. I go back to work on whatever invoices we got yesterday. The guy uses the bathroom, and then goes back outside. About 5 to 7 minutes later, he comes back inside and tells me that he's confused about the pump. He directly says, "You might have to come outside to help me." Customers don't often say this. They usually just complain that it's not working, so I'm already feeling weird about this guy. I shake it off because he looks like a nerd, and I don't feel afraid of him really. I look at the register to see what error it came up with for his pump, and there's no errors. The register doesn't even say it was on use. Even if someone tries to pay and nothing's wrong with their payment, it will at least say payment/loyalty timed out. But literally, it had no signs of him trying to use it before asking me for help. I ask him if he wants to just pay inside. He agrees to, gets his wallet out of his car, and then pays $10. I give him his receipt, and he says, "Can you help me? I don't understand the machine." And I say, "We're not really allowed to leave the store during overnight shifts, as it's just me here, and it's not safe to go outside." He proceeds to say, "I don't understand what it's asking me. I need help. I'm not scary." I tell him again that I can't go outside because it's store policy for the overnight shift, and say, "It's not that you're scary, I just can't go outside." I would have to tell a little old lady asking for help at this hour the same thing. Which is true. We can't even take out the trash during overnights. He starts to walk away from the register counter now, but then again stops at the door and asks me one last time to come outside and help him. I'm pretty annoyed at this point. I've said no twice now. I'm not going, so stop asking. I finally say in a super annoyed tone, "Okay, all you need to is 1. Pick up the nozzle, 2. Select fuel grade button, and 3. Put it into your tank and squeeze the handle. I'm not going outside." Then he finally goes back to the car, and the register tells me he had no problem pumping gas. Also, his plates seem like they're from the state I work in. This kind of thing wouldn't make me suspicious usually, but the fact that he originally opted for me to go outside instead of bringing money inside is pretty weird. Along with how he didn't bother use the pump before he came inside to ask for help, claiming it doesn't work, and him not taking my first no for an answer. No means no. So potential gas station abductor, let's not meet again. This incident occurred a few days ago. My husband and I went to visit my sister, who recently went through surgery and has been stuck at home, at her doctor's request. We wanted to go visit to check up on her, and gave her some company. The trip to my sister's is almost an hour drive away. We got about halfway there, and my husband decided to stop to grab something to drink, and a snack to share with our 2-year-old, since he was getting pretty fussy. We stop at a gas station that we have stopped at before on previous trips. It's a nice gas station. It's as nice as gas stations come. He parks at the gas pumps, and locks our daughter and I in. As soon as my husband goes into the store, this man pops out of nowhere. Kind of startled me off my phone. He started creeping around our vehicle. We made eye contact, and he kept looking at the driver's side and then back at me. The look he gave was that "I'm thinking of hopping in your truck" look. We kept steady eye contact. He then started pacing back and forth. Eventually, some random man came back to his vehicle that was parked at another gas pump nearby, and we made eye contact because this man was acting quite strange. The man then started walking away towards the man at the other pump, still holding eye contact with me though. At this point, I'm paranoid and thinking about how I'll defend myself if things take a turn. I'm clenching my phone and hoping I don't have to dial 911. He crept past the other guy and then walks towards the store behind us. Only he went walking past towards the wooded area nearby and just stood there, watching me. As we're still making eye contact, because I was looking back, I noticed my husband walking back out from the store. The man walked past my husband and went into the store as soon as he saw him walking to our truck. My husband gets in the truck and says, "The door wasn't even locked. I guess I didn't lock it." Ha ha ha. That's when I tell him what I went through while he was in the store. After that, not locking the door wasn't so funny anymore. I assumed this man was on something because of the way he was acting. He wasn't fully there, and it was very clear to myself and the other man at the pump who sat put in his car until he saw my husband come back in. I'm not sure what his intentions could have been, but it seemed as though he wanted to get into the truck. But what would the intentions from that point forward be? I'm just glad that he didn't decide to be a creep and not move closer to our vehicle. So, to the druggie at the gas station, let's not meet again. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos and become a stalker of the night, and I'll see you next time.